Get ready for the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What do you like about Easter?
Celebrate with your family.
Easter hunting for eggs.
You get to open them and there's stuff in there.
Money and grass.
Lots of candy.
What does the Easter bunny do?
Hops.
He hides the eggs.
He's a person that's dressed up in a costume.
Who is Jesus?
Jesus is like a person God. He is God's son.
What does Jesus look like?
Long brown hair and a brown beard.
And he's got like a robe on.
He has this belt, like what karate people wear, I think.
Who are the disciples?
12 chosen followers of Jesus. Simon, Peter, Andrew, James, John, Philip, Thomas, Matthew, James, and Alphaeus, Thaddeus, Simon, Judas, Bartholomew. They're the good guys.
What did Jesus teach?
How to pray and that God's real.
To always love one another when it's hard.
Teaching them about Christmas and Valentine's Day.
What kinds of miracles did Jesus do?
He turned water into wine.
He made 5 loaves and 2 fishes spread a long way.
He helped people if they were sick. He walked on water.
There was a storm and it was all windy and they said, Jesus, Jesus. And then he calmed it down so they won't be scared.
What would be a really cool miracle for him to do?
For me to be a superhero like Batman.
Let me ride a shark.
Fix the government.
What did they eat at the Last Supper?
Bread and like some dipping sauce.
Chicken nuggets and french fries. And there's the juice.
Some vegetables with chocolate on it.
Why did some people not like Jesus?
That everybody was calling him king.
They didn't believe that he was God's son.
They thought he would only hang out with the people who had done no sin, but he helped the sinners because they're the ones who needed help.
What did those people do to Jesus?
There were swords trying to capture him, whipped him,
And put a crown of thorns on his head.
and made him carry the cross a long way. Put him on a cross and stabbed him.
They hurted his heart.
He died on Good Friday.
And then somebody put him in a tomb that had this big rock over it.
What happened on Sunday morning?
He grew from the ground.
He rose from the dead.
What did the disciples do when they saw Jesus?
Very afraid, thought he was a ghost. They saw the scars, they touched him.
Jesus is alive, and I love him.
They were so happy.
How do we follow Jesus?
Confess our sins.
And ask him into our heart by praying.
And then he's like in our heart.
Why did Jesus do all of this?
It was all for us because he loves us.
He said, I don't want them to be scared, and whenever they're hurt, I want to help them.
We love you, Jesus.
Hey boys and girls, it is so good to see you today. Hey, can you all say hi?
Hi.
Yes, I've got some more friends here with me today, and so we're going to be talking about Easter because it is Easter Sunday. That's right. Yes, it's Easter Sunday. And so we are glad to see you guys, and we know some of you all are still at home, right? Some people are home. It's okay that you're still at home, but we want to include you on Easter Sunday especially. So, all right, you guys ready for a song?
Yep.
All right, so go ahead and stand on up. We don't get them to stand up.
Stand up.
Stand up and let's sing. Here we go. Just like that.
Okay.
Hey.
It's a great day to thank our God. It's the right time right now to give him praise. 'Cause he loves us more than we could know. Gonna sing it out, shout it out. Everybody let it out. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh.
Hey guys, that was a great song, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was, yes. And so now, it's time for our story. Are y'all ready for our story?
Yeah.
It's about Easter, kind of like one of the biggest holidays besides Christmas, the birth of Jesus, right? It's time for Easter now. So let's go ahead and sit on down. All right, guys, and let's get ready for the story. Now, do y'all have anything favorite you want to share about Easter?
I like that in Easter you get to hide eggs sometimes and find them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's fun. Do you like anything about Easter? I don't know. Okay. Do you get to go to see family here at Easter?
Yeah.
Yes, because you know what? A lot of times our families get together on Easter, and I've got some bad news. The restaurants are pretty much closed Easter Sunday. We had that one time where all the restaurants were closed, and we were driving around like for a half hour trying to find places, and then it's like, okay, they're all closed. So go over to families' houses and have Easter, and it's supposed to be warm this Easter. So have a picnic outside or do something outside this Easter Sunday. So, all right, let's get ready for our story. Have a seat, and let's go.
The story of Easter. Jesus' sacrifice. This is Jesus,
Heyo!
who is the Son of God and the Savior of the world. While Jesus was on earth, he taught everyone about God's love and healed people from their sickness. He did many miracles like calming storms and even raised people from the dead.
Wahoo!
The Jewish leaders and teachers did not like what Jesus was doing or how he claimed to be the Son of God. And so they made a plan to arrest him to get rid of him once and for all. Judas, one of Jesus' disciples, agreed to betray Jesus.
Come in.
And give him over to the religious leaders for some money. Jesus was in a garden praying, and Judas showed the man who Jesus was. Jesus was arrested and taken to the rulers of the land so that they could decide what to do with him. Jesus was presented before the high council, and they asked him if he was the Messiah, the Savior of the Jews. They asked him if he was claiming to be the Son of God. You say that I am. And the council was furious, and they shouted that Jesus was guilty and he deserves to die. So they took Jesus before the Roman ruler Pilate, and he heard the case against Jesus. Pilate didn't think that Jesus had done anything wrong.
Seems okay to me.
They found him to be innocent, so Pilate said that he would punish Jesus and then release him.
What?
But the crowd kept screaming louder and louder, "Crucify him! We want him dead!" And because of the pressure of the crowd, Pilate turned Jesus over to the Roman soldiers to be crucified. Jesus was hurt and spit on. His clothes were torn and taken from him, and a crown made out of thorns was put on his head. He was beaten so badly that he could barely stand on his own. And then he was forced to carry his cross so far up a mountain that he needed help because he could not do it on his own. Once Jesus made it to the place where he would be crucified, called the skull, the soldiers around him nailed him to the cross and waited for him to die. While Jesus was hanging on the cross, many people shouted to him, "If you really are the Son of God, save yourself from the cross." But Jesus knew he had to die to forgive his people for their sins. At noon, darkness fell across the whole land. 3 hours later, Jesus took his last breath and finally died. At that very moment, the curtain in the temple that separated the priests from God's holy place tore in two. A soldier watching the whole thing said, "This man truly was the Son of God." Then a righteous man named Joseph came and placed Jesus' body in a tomb. 3 days passed, and it seemed that there was no hope. But very early on Sunday morning, the woman who cared for Jesus went to go visit his body and found that his tomb was empty and that he was no longer there. "Don't be afraid," said an angel. "He is not here. He is risen." At this, the woman remembered that Jesus had told them that he would rise again on the third day. And ran to go tell the disciples what they had seen and heard.
Huh? Hey-oh! Ah!
And then for the next 40 days, Jesus appeared to his disciples and many others and showed them that he was alive and well. He taught them that what he did was the only way that they could be forgiven and be with God forever. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, so that everyone who believes in him will not perish but have eternal life.
Wow, that was a great story about Easter, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so let's break the Easter story down. So, last week we talked about on Sunday. Last Sunday was Palm Sunday, and we had to wave our palms, right? Now wave your palms with us. Yes, we waved our palms. And what happened on Easter Sunday? Do y'all remember? Jesus rode something.
He rode a donkey.
That's right, he rode a donkey. And all those people that were waving those palms, what did they do with them? They were waving them, and what was something else they did with their palms?
They dropped them on the ground.
They dropped them on the ground, that's right. And was that donkey Jesus' donkey, or was it borrowed?
It was borrowed.
That's right. Could you imagine borrowing a donkey and riding it? That's like kind of, I guess, borrowing a car, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then saying, I'm going to return the car. Yes. But Jesus and the disciples did return the donkey afterwards. Yes, they did. So, all right, so now we had Palm Sunday on Sunday, and then Monday happened, and Tuesday happened, and Wednesday happened, and then Thursday. What happened on Thursday? Do y'all remember?
It was the Last Supper.
That's it. That's right. It was the Last Supper. Now, would Jesus eat again? Probably eat again. We call it the Last Supper, though, because it's the time of communion. All right. And you were telling me earlier, what did the communion represent, like the bread and the wine?
The bread represented his body and the wine represented his blood.
His blood, very good. And we talked about this last week too. The blood was not real blood, right? Yes, okay. Just we don't want to scare anybody, okay? It was actually wine, but we have, what do we use now?
We use grape juice.
That's right, grape juice, yes. So, all right, because we don't, I don't know, some people still use wine, but we use grape juice here. The Welch's grape juice, the good stuff. So, okay, so we had Palm Sunday, now we have Easter. What happened on Friday, guys?
He got crucified.
He did. And so what did they do with his body?
Put him in a tomb.
In a tomb. And you know what else? That tomb also was borrowed. That was not his tomb. So wait, he's borrowed a donkey and he's borrowed a tomb. He's just borrowing all this stuff. Well, and we know that he's not going to need that tomb for very long, are we? Yeah, exactly. And he knew that too. He knew it was just going to be a couple of days and then boom. So on Friday, we believe around 3 p.m. is when Jesus died on the cross. And from there, and I don't think we've talked about this before, but the temple where the Jewish people were, the cloth ripped from the top to the bottom. And the cloth, have you ever seen like a theater curtain that's really, really thick and heavy? It's like you can't just tear it. Like paper you can tear. Well, this was like a really heavy-duty curtain, and it tore from the top to the bottom. And the important thing about that is it wasn't man that tore it. It was God that tore it from the top to the bottom. And what that represented is as soon as Jesus died, we didn't have to go to people. We could go straight to Jesus. And so that's pretty cool when we look at that, knowing that God tore the fabric from the top to the bottom. Guys, it was really thick. Like, I can't even tear this material here, but it's even thicker than that. Yeah, don't nobody tear their clothes, okay? Because you probably have your Easter clothes on. We don't want anybody tearing Easter clothes, right? Those are expensive. So, okay. So that happens. He dies. Then they take him where? After he dies, they take him to a tomb. That's right. And his mom, Mary, I bet Mary was crying, wasn't she? Oh my goodness, I bet she was crying. So they wrap him in all this cloth. to prepare his body, and they put the cloth over him, and they put him in the tomb. And then what do they do after that? There's something big that they roll in front of it.
It's the bowler thing.
Big stone wall?
Perfect. It was a stone rock, yes. And they roll that stone rock because you know what? The guards, they didn't want anybody to take Jesus' body. They wanted the body to stay there. So they wanted to use like a heavy duty, like rock to put in front of it. That probably took a lot of people to move it. Not just like walk up there, let's move this rock. No, it was heavy duty rock there. So the guards stand guard also. All night long for the next couple of days, the guards are there because they were really worried that the disciples or somebody would come and steal the body. But the cool thing, what happened on Sunday morning? He rose from the dead. But before that, what happened?
The tomb opened.
The tomb opened, and there was nobody there. Like in the sense that nobody pushed it. God pushed it. He just pushed it. And the guards are like, whoa, what's up with that? Can y'all say what's up?
What's up?
Yeah, what's up with that? What's happening here? Because they're like looking around and there's nobody there. And it's empty. They thought that someone had stolen the body. But Jesus wasn't there anymore, was he? No. And so Jesus has risen from the dead. And then we have Mary walking down the road, and they get there and he's gone. Like they're like, oh my gosh, what happened? Someone has stole his body. So Mary's like crying and everything, and she starts running back as fast as she can. And she's like, this man walks up and says, why are you running for it? Like, well, Jesus is gone. Like, that's him who she's talking to. She's like, oh my goodness. So all this is happening on Easter Sunday while Jesus has risen from the dead, and he literally is still on earth, but he's in kind of a form that's not human form. Does that kind of make sense? Mm-hmm. So he's here, because here in a couple of weeks, we're going to talk about the ascension. So he's here like for about 32 days in the form of Jesus, where he could walk through walls if he wanted to, because he can appear and disappear, okay, while he's on earth until we get to the ascension part where he actually goes to heaven. But it's very interesting that he's here because we're going to talk in a couple of weeks too about a man called Doubting Thomas. Jesus enters the room, and Doubting Thomas says, show me if you're really Jesus. And Jesus shows his hands, and there's holes in his hands. Mm-hmm. And even Doubting Thomas puts his finger in them and go, oh, that's really Jesus. It is. And his holes weren't bleeding either. That's the other thing. But there's still holes in his hands. Don't know how that happened. But guys, all right. So Easter, remember, it's about the resurrection. All right, where Jesus died and he rose from the dead, didn't he? All right. Anything else you guys want to add with this story about Easter? I think we also think of Easter too as spring, as new life, don't we? All the flowers. Do y'all have flowers at your house?
Yes.
What flowers do y'all have?
We have
dandelions.
In our front yard, we have this very bright pink flower.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Do y'all go out there and pick them for Mama? Sometimes, and he's like, no. Some kids don't touch Mom and Dad's flowers sometimes, right? Okay, because we don't want moms to get upset with their flowers, okay? But maybe Mom will let you cut some flowers and bring them in for spring. But we think of spring, with Easter, with new life, birth, just as Jesus had a new life because he rose from the dead. And so, excellent. All right, boys and girls, it is time for craft time. So go ahead and get your craft kits out. And we're doing the resurrection. So I think this one has some really fun activity parts with it. And you know what? We have a really special guest today. We do for our craft time. Do y'all remember Carla, the puppet? Long time ago? The little puppet that would talk during VBS?
I don't think so.
Oh, you don't remember Carla? Okay, well, some of you may remember Carla, some of you not, but Carla is going to do craft with us this week. So we're excited to have Carla back. So, all right, Carla, take it over for us. Hey, boys and girls, happy Easter! Jesus has risen, and we are so glad that you're with us today here as we do craft time. How are you doing, Craft Master Seth? Very good. Hey, Mr. John, are you with us today?
Hey, I'm here, Mr. Chris.
Hey,
hi, boys and girls.
It is great to have you, Mr. John. And hey, John, I think we have a really special guest today, Mr. John. Who do you think it is?
I know, I heard. I don't want to give away the surprise.
Who is it? I need to know. Somebody tell me.
Oh my goodness. Carla!
Yay! Oh, this is going to be fun.
Yes.
It's great to see you guys.
It's great to
It's
see
good
you.
to see you too, Carla.
Thanks.
I'm late to the clap party, but I clapped.
You clap.
I don't have one of those clap things. Where do you get one of those clap things? I don't see one. Oh, well. No clapping.
Hey, Carla, can you clap your hands, though?
No, I can't clap my hands.
Okay, gotcha, Carla. Hey, boys and girls, it is great to have Carla. And if you don't remember Carla, she has been with us during a couple of our VBSs, and it is so great to have Carla back with us on Easter Sunday. And so, all right, boys and girls, so let's go ahead and pull out your craft kit. You should have a paper plate, popsicle stick, Brad, and a gray piece of paper, and a Jesus. Will you hold up the Jesus, Seth? We got a Jesus. All right.
Brad Hooks. It's Brad Hooks is not in mine. Did you say Brad was supposed to be in here?
Mr. John, it's a little Brad. A little Brad.
Oh, I do have one of those.
Are we supposed to put on pizza on our paper plate? I like pizza.
Ooh.
Carla, we don't have any pizza today. We're going to do a craft with our paper plate. But yes, you could put pizza on it. Yes. All right. So now, Mr. John and Carla, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut our paper plate in half. Okay? So go ahead. You can fold it if you want to. If you're a person that wants it perfectly, kind of like Craft Master said, and we're going to cut it in half.
That's going to make it really hard to put pizza on it then.
You are correct, Carla. Hey, Carla, maybe you can put a half a slice on it. Boom.
That's right. I think so. That would be wonderful. But, you know, let's see. How am I doing?
Light pizza.
Okay, here we go. Look at, here's mine. I have a helper called the hand. The hand is holding up some of my props. There's my half. I'm pretty quick.
All right. You are.
Yes.
And
oh, we can do smiley face.
Okay, smiley face.
A sad face for
or a mustache. My mustache.
When Jesus was crucified, and on Sunday we turn it to a happy face. Yes. So, all right, now, boys and girls, let's take our half sheet of paper plate here and let's color it. We're going to make it look like a rock, okay? So if you have a purple rock, make it purple, blue, gray, whatever color rock you want it to be. Let's color the rock, okay? Seth, what color do you want?
That really rocks. That's really pretty cool.
Oh, I see what you did there. That was good.
Yeah, don't take me for granted. Oh my God.
That's good.
That's all I've got.
That's good, Carla.
You were rocking it there for a minute.
Oh, that was a good one, Mr. John. Rocking it. Rock and roll.
All right. Color those paper plates. And Mr. John and Carla, I think these got a little gloss on them. So they're not taking the crown really well tonight. You could turn it to the back, but I like the front.
Yeah, I'm using the front. That's if your pizza is really cheesy and the grease from the pepperonis is dripping, you want these with the little glossy so they don't get soaking wet, I guess.
That's right. You want to keep all that cheese to yourself, not get it stuck to the plate.
Right.
Now, Seth turned his inside out. So he's got the paper on the back. That's smart, Craft Master Seth. That's why he's Craft Master.
That's why he's the master.
Yes.
Craft Master Seth.
Mm-hmm. All right, so keep coloring. How you doing, Carla?
Oh, I'm doing great. Look, see mine so far? Can you see it?
Oh, yeah, looking great, Carla. How's John?
Mine's here. I've got it just about. I made a brown rock.
Nice. So here's Seth and mine. Let's see, Craft Master says. Yeah, all those look great, you guys. Okay, now next, we are going to cut a rock out of our paper. Now, Mr. Seth and I, Craft Master Seth, are going to have to share paper. So I'm going to have half my sheet of paper, okay? But you guys don't have to half yours, okay? So I'm going to cut mine in half. Don't do that, though, for your paper. but I'm going to make a big kind of like rock, Mr. John.
Okay. Big rock. Big rock.
Yep.
Big rock. Big rock. That's good. You're doing a very good job, Mr. Chris.
Thank you. And Seth colored his.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
All right, there we go. All right.
A rock.
Very good.
Look, it's a rock
Oh,
and
Mr.
roll.
John. That's great, Mr. John. Excellent.
I like that, Mr. John. And everybody's decision on a rock is different. Mr. John kind of did a smaller, like not a small, but a round rock. And Seth and I did kind of like a rectangle rock. So
Yeah.
every rock is different, isn't it, Mr. John?
That's right, just like in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All rocks are unique.
Yes.
Unique rocks.
So the next thing I want to do with you guys is we're going to cut Jesus out. So you could color your Jesus, and then we're going to cut him out. Okay?
If you want to find a rock outside, you can unique up on it. But
That's excellent, Mr. John. Very good. Unique rock. Like those unique rabbits. Unique
exactly.
Yep.
So as you're cutting your Jesus out, go ahead and get your glue ready, boys and girls. Bloop. Hey, good
I'll
morning.
just give you a warning. I'm giving Carla a warning. If you have a glue stick, Carla, don't use it. It's not chapstick. I accidentally used it for chapstick one time, and I couldn't talk for 3 days.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, don't use it for chapstick. No.
All right, now, good morning to our Sunday morning kids, because they're watching this also. I think Miss Jessica is going to be with them this Sunday morning. So good morning, guys.
Good morning.
As you cut out your Jesus and you've colored it, go ahead and glue it to your popsicle stick. Now, we only had one craft kit here at our house, so I wrote the word Jesus on my popsicle stick. But Seth actually colored his Jesus. Look at that. It's orange. He's a little sunburned. He's been in the sun a lot.
That popsicle was really good.
It was, wasn't it, Carla?
Yeah, that was a good popsicle. Now, what do we do with the stick again?
We're going to glue our Jesus to it. So you cut out Jesus and we're going to glue him to the popsicle stick.
Oh, so if you had a, oh, look here, I've done it. Yeah,
Hey,
there it is.
Oh, yay.
Yay! That's a very good Jesus on a popsicle stick. I think he likes popsicles too.
I think he does.
How are you doing, Mr. John?
I'm almost done cutting out my Jesus. I think I was too precise with cutting out my Jesus.
It is okay. It's all right to be precise cutting Jesus out. It's okay. Now, as we're doing the next step, you may need mom and dad's help because we're going to use a brad and we got to make a little hole in the paper and a little hole in the rock. But you know what? Before we do that, let's cut a little bit more out on our plate. So wherever you think your rock is going to go. So for example, my rock may go there, right here. See that, boys and girls? I'm going to cut a little bit out behind this rock right here, okay? So see that? I'm going to cut back here. I'm going to take my paper away, and I'm going to cut a little section out. Oh, there goes my crown off the table. And I'm going to cut maybe a little bit like this, or maybe a triangle. You can do whatever shape you want, but I want it to be empty back there, okay? Don't want anything back there. So it looks like this. And now my rock is going to cover it up, so you can't really see the opening. And then there's my opening right now, okay? So go ahead and cut kind of like a little shape right there. Something, oval, circle, something. You cutting. How's Mr. John doing?
Oh, I'm doing good, Mr. Chris.
Carla, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Yeah.
Very
Look, here's mine with a little hole right there. And the rock. Yeah. Yeah.
Very good, Carla. Your hands are doing wonderful.
They are, aren't they? Yep. I've got a couple of good hands over here. Yeah, I really want to hand it to them.
Oh, that was good. All right, now, how's your cutting out doing, Mr. John?
Well, my cutting out is almost done, Mr. Chris.
Take your
I will
time.
be done. Let's see, I'm cutting. I've got my little scissors. Be careful with your scissors.
Yeah, don't rush him, Mr. Chris. He's got to be careful with his scissors.
Yep,
That's right.
I've got it. Look, I've got it right there.
Nice, Mr. John. I like that. Now, here comes the safety part. You may have to have mom and dad help you with this, okay? So I'm going to poke a hole through my rock and through the paper plate, okay? So I'm going to hold my paper and my paper plate, and I'm going to poke a hole in it. Be very careful doing this. Very, very careful. There.
Yes, be very careful, boys and girls, because can I see where you poked your hole out?
Yes, Mr. John. I poked my hole to the side. Okay.
Yeah,
to the
okay.
side
That's where I'm
right
going to
here.
poke mine. That's where I'm going to poke mine at. Yes, be very careful. Mr. Hand, Carla's hand assistant, please be very careful.
Yes,
I almost
please
poked myself one time.
Oh, scissors can be very dangerous. They cut.
That's right.
They can be sharp.
Just make sure your hand is being very safe there, Carla.
Yes, I will. My hand assistant is being very, very safe. I don't see any blood drops. That's good. Haven't lost
Very
any
good.
fingers. Yeah, that's good.
Very good. Now, Mr. Seth has already put his Brad in. Brad Hooks is already in there, isn't it? All right. So now we have our rock in place, and you can see my Brad right there. So the back, it opens up. In the front, I can see my Brad pin right there.
Yep. Yep. There, look at that.
Wow. Very good. That's excellent, Mr. John.
Excellent. Yes.
Thank you.
Now, boys and girls, so on Easter Sunday, as the sun raised up in the sky, the tomb opened. I'm going to have to borrow Seth's because I had to glue mine down. The tomb opened, and there was nothing in the tomb. Where was Jesus? He had risen.
On our popsicle stick.
He's on the popsicle stick. Yes, he's away. He's not in the tomb anymore. So Jesus could be on top of your rock, or he could be somewhere else, but he's not in the tomb anymore. He's risen.
Woohoo! He's risen. Ta-da!
That's really good. Yeah. Look, he's up here. He's up above. Look at that. Hooray!
Yay! Excellent, guys.
I love it.
Nice.
Yes. That's right.
Yeah, we got the clapper. Yay!
That's right. All right, boys and girls. So we celebrate Easter because Jesus has risen from the dead. On Friday, Good Friday, they crucified Jesus. And Sunday, today, he is risen from the dead, and we celebrate his resurrection. Now, Jesus did not immediately go to heaven as soon as he raised from the dead. And we're going to talk about that over the next couple of Sundays, because we have an Ascension Sunday where actually Jesus raised into the cloud on a couple of weeks away, about 30 days away from after he raised from the dead, before he went to heaven to be with God again. And then he sends down the Holy Spirit. But we're going to talk about that again soon. But right now, guys, we are celebrating Easter Sunday. We celebrated Palm Sunday last week. We celebrated the Last Supper on Thursday, which was called Maundy Thursday. Friday was Good Friday. And today is what, Seth? Easter Sunday. That's right. Easter Sunday. Yes. All right, Mr. John.
Hooray! Hooray!
Bad Friday.
Why should they call it Bad Friday?
Jesus died.
Jesus died on that day. But it's fun. It was a good thing because he had to die so that we could go to heaven. But it's still, I'm with Craftmaster Seth on this. It sounds like a really bad thing.
And Carla, what do you think about Easter?
Oh, I get excited about Easter. And you can see, thank you, Miss Hand. Yeah, it's a very exciting thing on Easter because he did rise from the grave. But, I'm guessing that watching everything happen on that Friday didn't feel very good at that time. But now it feels very good and we can celebrate.
That's right. I couldn't imagine what Mary, his mother, was feeling like, and his brothers and sisters who were there, Jesus's family, watching him die on the cross. It had to have been very, very sad.
They probably did not call it Good Friday. They probably didn't call it Good Friday that day.
No, Mr. John, we didn't name it Good Friday until probably right around the maybe 19th, 20th century. It's been just recently, like within maybe the 1900s, that we changed it to a Good Friday, maybe a little earlier than that. But back then they did not call it Good Friday, no, because it was a very, very sad day. It was. And so.
From the grave he arose.
That's right. All right.
Nobody knows all the words. We'll have to look that up.
We'll have to look it up.
Now the important part.
That's right, Carla. That's right. All right, boys and girls. Well, thank you for joining us for Easter Sunday. It has been a great week. I pray that you get to spend some time with your family. Don't forget, if you're at church, we got the Easter egg hunt right after worship. And you know what? If you're home and you're watching this and it's early Sunday morning, hey, at 12 o'clock, just go ahead and come to the church, to the playground, meet us there, and we're going to go egg hunting, okay? So come on down. Meet us there at noon, all right? Maybe a little 11.
Heard a rumor that there were a lot of eggs, Mr. Chris. Somebody told me there were a lot of eggs.
I heard from Miss Judy, don't tell her. I think there was over like 1,000 Easter eggs.
Yeah. So come and that, and they have candy and toys and things in them. So
yes.
Yeah.
I heard that Miss Campbell's daughter and Miss Judy worked really hard, and I think Miss Mary also worked. Sylvie worked very hard on all these eggs.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I'm gonna wear a disguise and go on my knees and go and pretend I'm a little kid and get some eggs.
Yes. How about Carla?
Well, I'm not going to go on my knees. My knees, you can't really see my knees very much. But I don't know. And I can't eat candy very well because it gets stuck in the roof of my mouth. See?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Then I have to get dry cleaned.
Oh, that's good, Carla. You have to get dry cleaned.
But,
yes.
I'm pretty much made of material. So if you get chocolate on that, it doesn't come out. It's tricky.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for the kids to get to have fun. That'll be great.
It will be. It'll be a lot of fun.
And I hear the weather is going to be beautiful too on Easter Sunday. So come ready for a great day, boys and girls. And I do also pray that when you come to Easter egg hunt, if you guys do, but I really pray that you all get to spend some time with your family, because Easter also is a time where our families come together and we get to worship together and we get to have fun, eat lunch maybe together, because all the restaurants are closed. So you might as well just go home and eat, okay? Maybe Wendy's or McDonald's is open, but most of the sit-down restaurants are closed. And so
we're going to eat hamburgers that day.
Nice. We are too. I think we're going to have a grill at the church, and my brother and his family, we're going to all get together under the pavilion and have some lunch.
Oh, that will be fun. We're going to grill too, but we're going to grill on my deck, and it's big too.
Yes. Carla, do you have any plans for Easter with your family?
I don't have a grill. What am I going to do? I'm going to have to find a grill. Oh my goodness. Well, like pizza? Is that what?
I like pizza.
Pizza too. Yep, and we've got a pizza plate. Well, half of one. See, the half that's not a rock can be a pizza plate.
That's right, Carla. Yes. Now, Carla, don't get any grease on yourself now, okay? Because we don't want you to go get dry cleaned, okay?
No, we don't want that. No, gotta be careful.
Yes. All right, boys and girls. Well, we are so thankful for you joining us today. Hey, invite some of your friends at school to join us also if you want to, okay? We can mail them a craft kit. And so let's pray together and then we will be dismissed. And we just pray you have a great Easter. So let's put our hands together, close our eyes, and let's pray. Dear Jesus, thank you for dying on the cross for us and raising from the dead. We love you so much, Jesus, and thank you for forgiving us of all the things that we do that we should not do. Lord, we thank you for our mom and dads and our brother and sister, and we just love you so much, Jesus. Thank you for raising from the dead and forgiving us. In your name, amen. Amen, boys and girls.
Amen.
Hey,
thanks for letting me join in, guys. I had a great time.
Thank you, Carla, for joining us. We are so glad that you were with us, and we hope you can join us again. Maybe, Mr. John, we can have, like, as we get close to being, like, at church, everyone at church, maybe we could bring all of our guests in for maybe one more. We got a couple more weeks. We're going to do some of these videos. But we're getting close, boys and girls, to being really in person and having everything at church again. So we encourage you. But maybe, Mr. John, we can have a special where all of our special guests can come together and do one more later down the road, Mr. John.
Oh, that would be very fun, Mr. Chris.
That would be a lot of film recording, wouldn't it, Mr. John, too?
It would be, but it would be fun.
It would be, yes. All right. Hey, Mr. John, do you want to say goodbye to the boys and girls?
Goodbye, boys and girls. Goodbye,
right.
Carla. Goodbye, Master Seth and Mr. Chris.
Carla, do you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for letting me come and join you. Have a great day.
Hey, and Craftmaster Seth, do you want to say goodbye to folks?
Goodbye.
Yes. All right, guys. Hey, we love you all. Goodbye. Happy Easter. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Happy Easter.